Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to guide you through a very beautiful place and an interesting story that took place with Jesus and his disciples on this mount, the Transfiguration story. I am standing on Mount Tabor, the place where Jesus came up with his disciples and showed his divine status, his divine nature. I will tell you the story as we walk and we see this beautiful church and beautiful place. According to three Gospels, the story took place on a mount. Mount Tabor was not specifically mentioned in the Bible, but it is identified to be on this mount. We are at about 600 meters of altitude above sea level. And it is the only mount in this area, and this is where it is identified that this story took place. The story where Jesus came up with Peter, John, and James to this mount and showed his divine nature. And when this happened, Moses appeared and Elijah appeared. So this happened with the presence of Moses, the writer of the law, and prophet Elijah, the leader of the prophets. And when the disciples saw that, Peter suggested that they should build 3 tents, one for Jesus, one for Elijah, and one for Moses. And as he was speaking, a cloud shadowed them, and they heard a voice coming out from the cloud saying, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." This is the story of the Bible, and this church was built here to commemorate this exceptional story. Of course, this was not the first church that was built here. First church was built here in the 6th century during the Byzantine time. Then it was enlarged during the Crusaders period in the 12th century, and on my right you can see remains of the Crusaders monastery. Later it was destroyed by the Mamluks in the 14th century. Then the custodians of the Holy Land, the Franciscans, they purchased the land on top of the mount, and in 1924 this beautiful church in front of me was built. This church has a beautiful story. It was designed by the architect of the Holy Land, by Antonio Berluzzi, the man who designed many churches in the Holy Land, but this was the first church that he designed along with the church in the Garden of Gethsemane in Jerusalem. As you can see, Antonio Berluzzi likes to incorporate the Bible story inside the design of the church. So what he did is that he built the church from 3 naves, 3 sections. The middle section was built for Jesus, the right section was built for Elijah, and the left side section was built for Moses, as suggested by Saint Peter in the Bible story. Also, I want to show you that, of course, I want to remind you that this is a 360 video, so you can navigate the scene on your screen. So if you look up, you can see yellow alabaster glass that reflects inside the church. In the afternoon, when the sun is coming from the west, it shines on this glass, and inside the church, I will go now. Inside the church, there is a golden mosaic depicting the story of the Bible, the story of the Transfiguration, where Jesus showed his divine status. And the sun shines on that mosaic and it glows. It illuminates, depicting Jesus' divine nature. Okay, I will go now inside the church. I am not able to speak in the church. Of course, also there is a mass. There's tourists celebrating mass inside the church. So this chapel is for Elijah. The other one is same thing, but with a depiction for Moses. And this is the third chapel for Moses, the writer of the law. And I also want to show you where this mount overlooks. It looks over the most fertile plain in the Holy Land. It overlooks the Jezreel Valley. We have very beautiful view. This is the view from the top of the church. It overlooks the Jezreel Valley. The Jezreel Valley is in the lower Galilee. We are also very close to the city of Nazareth. It's about 20 minutes away from here. This concludes our tour for today. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful place. If you like to see more places in the Holy Land, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you and see you in the next video.